This time on Unexplained Caught on Camera.
Listen to the night pedaling.
A woman in New Hampshire captures an unknown intruder on her camera
Oh my God, there's someone in my house.
that stalks her in her own home.
One of the best pieces of evidence I've ever seen of a full-bodied apparition.
In the UK, a young couple deal with noisy downstairs neighbours.
He's vibrating the floor.
The only issue is there's nothing beneath them.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
And a veteran survivalist is utterly unprepared.
Am I hearing things or what?
I do really think it's unexplained.
All around the world, millions of people are capturing the unexplainable on their mobile phones and security cameras. In this series, we hear firsthand from the people involved.
I was terrified. I was upset.
I saw it, and I captured it on my camera.
Something was there, something was watching us.
What is that?
As we reveal the most remarkable,
I'm getting really dizzy.
spine-chilling,
Oh my God! Oh my God!
and unexplainable footage shot by you.
No, this is freaking me out.
Our experts will be watching along,
Whoa!
That is very odd.
What? Oh, wow.
trying to solve your unexplained mysteries.
When I see a really good piece of evidence, I get really excited because it's putting one more piece of the puzzle together.
I'm open-minded to the possibility, but as a hardcore skeptic, I will always turn to the natural explanations first.
I've been a medium all my life. I was born this way. I think there's so many things that we don't yet know, we don't understand, and we don't have enough knowledge about.
I've got well over 20 years' experience in the paranormal field. And as a technical investigator, I've seen, heard, and experienced things that are truly unexplainable.
This is Unexplained Caught on Camera. We start this episode in New Hampshire, USA. A state defined by its quaint towns and large expanses of wilderness. And part of the foundations of an extremely haunted house.
My name is Teresa Chick, and I work as a security guard. And I've been living here my whole life. I was born and raised here. I didn't always believe, but now I do. When I started seeing things on my camera, I was like, oh my God, this stuff is real. The place that I live is a apartment building. There's 3 apartments in this building. I live in the basement part. There's a lot of times where I feel like there's something there. I'll feel a really cold spot, or I'll just sense that there's somebody staring at me. The reason that I got security cameras was there was some break-ins in the neighborhood and there was a drive-by shooting. It wasn't even until a year later that I started reviewing the cameras. I have 9 cameras, and they're on at all times, and they record motion. The first time I caught something on the camera, my dog was just kind of acting weird, and I said, well, I'm just going to check the camera, see what's going on here. What I saw was the back of an individual. I could see an actual person standing in my living room.
What? That's a person standing there, but they're not moving.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Are you serious? The apparition looks like it's wearing different, period clothes or something.
That just looks like a person standing there. That is very clear.
And he looked like he was dressed in a different period, which would mean that he's not from around here. Oh my God, there's someone in my house. And I'm checking all the doors. The doors are all locked. They've been locked all morning. There was no way anybody got in. This has got to be a joke. Somebody's got to be playing games with me. When I first saw it, I walked around the house making sure there was no broken windows. And I really wasn't believing that this was paranormal. I was thinking, somebody's playing a prank on me. But I could not come up with any reason or any way this man had gotten in my house. I first saw that, and then I later on went back on the cameras and I saw another image in the same place, in the same room.
Oh my God. In the second clip, the dog's actually looking at it. She's not even aware. She's not even conscious of this being. Oh my God.
Wow.
This was like starting to form, and then the individual completely formed. And that's why if you put them side by side, they look like they could be the same entity.
If she says that there was no one else in her house and that can't be explained, that's incredibly compelling evidence.
I am literally blown away. If that's not a person, then how can you explain it? If this was a full-bodied apparition and we could discount all other explanations, this footage here is amongst the most amazing that I've ever seen.
This is definitely the holy grail of all paranormal captures. I just don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it that's ever been caught on camera before.
It's not just in the US homes are rife with paranormal activity. As this young couple in Hull found out.
My name's Gillian Harper and I'm a senior care assistant in a care home.
My name's Kieran and I'm a pig farmer. I changed the way I feel about the paranormal after certain things were happening. I noticed the sound at first, but I just shrugged it off, didn't think much about it, and then the knock happened again.
There's something in our floorboards.
It was a distinct knock on the floorboards. It's always the same spot, just there.
Oh, interesting. Can't see both their hands, though.
I've just got Kieran out of bed because it's up. Was that you?
No. It could be pipes, it could be an animal, it could be anything, but what really made the hairs stand up on my neck and took me by surprise was the feeling.
It's doing different amounts each time.
It was such a hard knock.
So we're getting responses.
It's so clean.
It's vibrating the floor.
So I'd knock and it'd knock back to me.
That's mad.
It was the vibration of the knock, the feeling of the knock, the timing of the knock.
The taps from the floor would suggest the noisy knocker lives below them. However,
We haven't got any basement or cellar.
It's like it's underneath the floor.
Honest to God, it's right.
I think between us we maybe thought it could be pipes or the radiators.
And there's no cavity there for pipes.
There was a video where we put the camera on the floor down here, and then Kieran knocks by the camera and we both put our hands in front of the camera just so that we could show that it's not us.
It's right there.
Wow. And their reactions are very genuine.
That's really interesting, because you can see them as well. So you can see that they're not knocking back, and you can see that they don't have shoes on, so that's not going to be it.
It's there, it's right there.
They think they're communicating with something under the floorboards. It's not. It's stood there next to them, tapping on the floor just like they're doing.
It's there, it's right there.
Around the world, more than 500 hours of video is uploaded to the internet every minute. Some of which you really have to see to believe. In Chicago, Illinois, a can of shaving powder is on the edge.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen.
It's claimed it fell and landed in this position.
Like you're doing magic and shit. I'm on the side here because it's...
Is this a perfect example of equilibrium? Or has someone got creative with some super glue?
Just like take a picture, you stand next to it like...
You decide.
Like you're doing magic and shit.
Ontario, Canada. Keep your eye on the building at the end of the road. As the car approaches, you would think the building would increase in size.
Getting smaller. Why was that building so big? Why is it so small?
But is that building actually shrinking?
Look how little it is.
This bizarre optical illusion has baffled locals for decades and become its own urban legend. The foreground objects, like the houses and the trees, trick your brain into thinking it's bigger than it is.
Getting smaller. Why is it so small?
Why does it do that?
I don't know. Look how little it is.
Another optical illusion, this time in Miami. Don't adjust your TV. He really has worn this shirt in public. Clothing of the future or an iridescent shirt?
There's demons in the house!
It's lunchtime in Canada. And a spirit is leaving a not-so-subtle sign it's hungry. This is nuts. All over the world, people search for explanations for their mystifying video evidence. In a remote part of Scotland, we meet our next individual searching for answers.
My name's Kelvin Harris, occupation coach driver. I live in Portsoy, Aberdeenshire, and it's a wonderful place to live. It's not a very big village, it's not a massive population of people. The Northern Lights, we get to see them on a regular basis. Spectacular shows. I was a skeptic, but then things happen. And you think, wow, now I am believing. I am believing this. Myself and my wife was sat on the sofa. Oh, the aurora's bright tonight. And the aurora was, wow, I've never seen it so bright. I spend a lot of time away from home. Get security cameras put around the house. So anyway, that particular night, I get notifications on my phone saying motion in your garden. And I was just sat there looking at this and I thought, wow. What the hell was that?
Oh my God, that actually looked like a woman floating.
So it's something that's fading in, something that becomes darker as it gets closer to the camera.
What is that?
And I saw this image of something. It looked like a cloud or something. But it moved swiftly. It never changed direction. It came straight down. I said, I can't believe this. What's happening? I kept looking at it and saying, no, this is not real. This is not real. Wow, what the hell's gone off? What's going off here? So it was only an hour later that Louise says it's happened again. But this time, there was like 3 or 4.
They look like spirits to me. Straight away with that, they feel like spirits caught on camera.
Oh, that's really interesting. Can we play that again? Sort of breaks into multiple pieces, doesn't it?
As they get closer to the garden or to wherever, they broke up and then just disappeared. One sort of disappeared over the back where the summer house was, but the rest seemed to come over the decking of the garden. You know, people said, oh, it's a spider. People say, somebody's got a vape behind your shed. But to look at it properly and you sit there and you look at it, I really don't know, I can't explain it. It's unexplainable. Is it just because the aurora's out that these spirits or whatever they were feel disturbed and they have to move?
The Northern Lights being so visible to so many people this year could have actually created an energy field that's allowed these spirits to be caught on camera.
Now it's happened, I 100% believe there's spirits out there.
To me, that is spirits in transit. Definitely a female, and I think 3 children.
These are interesting clips. What's most interesting is that it moves in the same direction twice, and these were taken 90 minutes apart.
My working theory on this is that we're seeing droplets on the camera lens that's going across the camera. The movement of the droplets on the camera lens could potentially be enough to cause the motion sensor to go off and then the recording to be made. I'm not sure about this particular piece of footage. I wonder what Kate would think.
But I wouldn't really go either way on this. I might put this firmly in the unexplained camp.
I know what I saw, and I know what I believe in, and I've got the evidence to prove it.
Back in Hull, couple Jill and Kieran are still searching for answers to the mysterious noises coming from their floorboards.
More than often, it would knock back the exact amount of times as what we would knock.
It's so clean. It's vibrating the floor. I have had the heating off.
The weirdest thing was that there was one night when I tried to actually speak to it.
If you can hear me, knock 2 times.
That's really odd.
Oh, the cat legs it.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It made me feel really weird and quite scared and nervous, but I was really intrigued as well. We wanted to visit a clairvoyant. So she told Kieran that he had his granddad Frank around him.
His name has been brought up in other family members' sessions when they've been to see a clairvoyant, a different clairvoyant. So he was quite a prankster.
After we'd had our visit to the clairvoyant is when the knocking started to happen.
It's so creepy. It's vibrating the floor.
When you visit a medium, a psychic, a clairvoyant, it's like an invitation. I want to communicate with you. And so they will quite happily let you know that they are around.
It's right there.
I don't really feel like it's negative, but it can feel quite eerie. Doesn't feel scary too much to be in the house, but there is just a slight uneasiness. Oh my God, that was it. That was the banging then. And you can see there's nobody else here.
There are a few reasons why spirits would like to communicate with us. Normally, it's because they have a message to pass on to a loved one. Deborah's gonna love this one.
I really like this couple. Family spirits always stay close to their loved ones here on the earth plane, but a lot of people miss the sounds.
One of the issues I've got with this particular scenario is we're dealing with a house that's not detached. So therefore, you've got a neighbouring house, you're sharing a wall. We can't discount the fact that the neighbours might be playing a prank.
I think this is really interesting. I think any kind of knocking, rapping, call and response is kind of the foundation of modern ghost hunting. And if it's not pipes and it's not someone else knocking, it's a good start for trying to communicate with the paranormal.
After seeing a full-bodied apparition appear in her home, Teresa continues to review the home security cameras to reveal a horrifying hotbed of paranormal activity.
After I saw the apparition, I started going through my videos, and I was hearing other voices, and one of them really stuck out at me. He had an Irish accent, and it sounded like he was saying, "Call the effing pastor now."
Oh my God, that is crazy. That is a grade A EVP response.
That is incredible.
And that really stuck out to me. I was like, why do you need to call a pastor? You did an awful sin or something. And then I started hearing other things.
What? That said help.
Whoa!
Usually I feel the most activity in my living room, and that's where the apparition was standing. You know, and sometimes I'll feel like somebody's staring at me. And one evening, I think he was telling the dog, "Get out of here."
These are brilliant EVPs, and EVP is electronic voice phenomena. I have personally captured many grade A responses, but honestly, if I had recorded these, I'd be over the moon because this is compelling stuff. I'll be really interested to hear what Kate thinks about this one.
It's interesting to have such a wide range of EVPs. So we've got really different voices, different accents, and kind of different intentions as well.
It's quite a sensitive microphone that she has in that system, to the extent where even the pets that you see in some of the footage, so you've got something very, very sensitive that means if there's any sound that you're not seeing, you could misinterpret as being paranormal.
After capturing a full-bodied apparition earlier, Teresa never expected that she would encounter it again.
I can't believe what I captured on that camera, and I still can't believe to this day. When I was watching the video with the person coming up behind me, I was like, oh my God, what is that? Why is there somebody behind? Are they going to try to hurt me?
Standing behind her.
Oh, that makes your blood run cold.
Oh my God, it's stalking her. It's right behind her and she doesn't see it. Seriously, if that's not a real person, then that is the best apparition video I've ever seen caught on internal security cameras.
I totally freaked out. I had no clue that there was anything behind me. I noticed the dog was kind of acting weird. It is amazing that I caught him, and it wasn't something I was trying to do. It just happened. But I don't know how anybody can deny it with all the pictures and the evidence I have. I mean, it's crazy.
If Teresa is telling the truth and that these video clips are legitimate, it's probably one of the best pieces of evidence I've ever seen of a full-bodied apparition. There is someone lurking behind her.
This is kind of an overwhelming amount of evidence. There's so much going on. Her house is so busy.
It's not just in Teresa's house that the boundaries between realms blur.
Holy crap.
South Carolina, USA.
What is that?
Small holes appear in the ceiling, revealing a mysterious flapping.
Like the hole in. Holy cow.
The owner of this clip had been fixing problems in the building when they noticed this bizarre noise. Upon closer inspection and ruling out a trapped bird, they still had no idea what it was.
Holy cow.
A bit of material flapping against a fan? Or some otherworldly communication? You decide.
What is that smacking that ceiling tile? It's knocked a hole in.
Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. This clip was sent in from the ICU of a local hospital. The owner claims the door mysteriously opens and shuts on its own. A freak gust of wind? A broken automatic door? Or visitors from another realm? If they are unearthly visitors, it would be nice to get some flowers from the gift shop.
I really don't think I'm ever going to be able to sleep. Shit. Listen to it. Listen to the night.
Chicago, USA. This exhausted individual is struggling to get some sleep due to some unholy banging coming from inside his cupboard.
I really don't think I'm ever going to be able to sleep. Shit.
But the ethereal game of hide and seek ends abruptly as soon as he opens the door.
Jesus. I mean, this is my whole closet right here.
And like all the best players, they're hard to find. His neighbours likely have no doubt about his love life, but he probably will have to apologise in the morning.
To the night. Jesus.
Across the globe, paranormal activity is caught on camera every day. And the UK is no exception. As one adventurer discovered deep in the woods.
My name's Gareth, also known as Grizzly Gaz, and I run the channel Grizzly Gaz. The content that I usually shoot is hiking and wild camping with my French Bulldog Fendi. I don't particularly believe in the paranormal, but I'm open-minded, so I'd say that I'm more of a skeptic, but open-minded skeptic. I've had a few noises while I've been out in the woods camping and stuff like that, but they've been related to animal noises.
Let me get over this big tree trunk.
Well, I went to go do a camp on an old railway track. Used to be one of platforms for trains. Wonder if this were the station then here.
That's brilliant.
I like this guy.
All the old people in the village used to tell us that there was the lady in the white up there. And apparently, the lady who lived at the farm up on top of this hill, she hung herself down here.
Oh, that's pretty creepy.
Now that's very interesting.
I think that was probably just to scare us kids from going up there and dossing about up there. Sun's almost down now. It was just a normal camp to start with.
Look at that beauty. Gorgeous, isn't it?
Anyway, got shelter set up, got the fire going, did a bit of cooking. The cooking didn't really go to plan. I put too much water in it.
Hey, might have to drink this, look.
Eventually, we settled down for the night. Lights were off, fire had gone down and everything.
Gaz tries to get some shut-eye, but an hour later, he's woken up by a strange noise.
The first thing that I heard was it sounded like a woman crying.
Yeah, what is that noise?
No, that's a woman.
Oh, I've got shivers.
Hello? It was just a very weird sound that I couldn't put my finger on. And I had the tarp set up behind me, so I couldn't see. So I had to get up and go around and have a look to see what was making the noise. I didn't see any head torches or anything like that in the woods.
Hello?
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
But I couldn't see anything, which really made me goose pimples go up. Being out in the dark in the woods and you're hearing noises but you can't see anything, it really does start to freak you out a bit.
What the f was that?
Sometimes it sounded really close to me, other times it sounded quite far away. I just couldn't see anything, and that's what gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Am I hearing things or what?
Then I started to feel a bit afraid, basically, because I couldn't figure out what it was.
Ooh, got goosebumps and everything.
The noises did stop and start when I started shouting, hello.
Nope. 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 Hello?
And then it'd start up again, so then I'd have to get out and go and have a look around and then say hello, and then it'd stop.
Hello?
I thought it's either, one, maybe it's someone messing with me, but then if someone's going to be messing with me at daft o'clock in the morning, then I don't want to be there asleep if someone's messing with me. And then the other thing was, if it is something not of this world, then I didn't want to be there as well. I do really think it's unexplained. Like I say, I've been an outdoorsman for most of my life, and I can't figure out what the noise was, and I was there right in the middle of it.
Come on, mate. I shat my pants then. Absolutely. Call me whatever you want, but that was just weird, that.
If it can't be debunked, then that might change my mind a little bit. Like I say, I'm open-minded.
Come here.
So I do believe that it is unexplained, and I'd like people to try and explain it for me.
A lot of spirits that are known to wail or to cry, they're more like spirits trapped on a loop. So they'd be constantly replaying a feeling, an emotion, or a path, a route they used to take.
During my many years of paranormal investigation, I have heard sounds similar to that. I've heard female voices, whispers, even shrieks and things. Could well be that this lady in white still haunts the woodland. This one might finally convince Kieran O'Keefe.
My first impressions are that I absolutely love this footage. You've got what, in my mind, is an incredibly credible witness.
What was causing those noises in the woods? Weird wildlife or a wailing woman? We may not be able to say, but what we do know is that it was caught on camera. Over in the US, there are more mysteries deep in the woods.
My name is Jeff Johnson. I'm an explorer. I love hiking. I would say that I am a believer in the paranormal. This video has made me think more about what else is out there that I'm not really paying attention to. I was working with my sister on a video project. She wanted to get some very slow drone footage of the fall colors in the mountains. So we drove up the canyon a few miles and found a spot where we could overlook kind of the creek and the canyon below us. And we started flying around taking these very slow drone videos. and I was flying very slowly down, and I saw these pine trees, and I saw something kind of fly towards my drone.
Oh, that looks to me like some form of UFO.
Whoa, is that a bird?
What is that?
But I thought, that was kind of weird. Is that like an insect or a bird or something? When I saw it, I was like, what? That's not, birds don't fly like that. I noticed that the object was flying from the creek upwards and was spinning very slowly. What kind of animal or insect or bird or whatever flies like that? Almost like it wanted to hit it. I know some people have said it's an arrow, and I personally, I don't think it's an arrow. Some people said it's an actual boomerang, and I think it doesn't fit that description either. It could have been hunters, you know, trying to send me a message of don't fly my drone or something like that. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm still at a loss for words.
Due to a lack of plausible explanations, Jeff jokingly refers to the object as Bigfoot's boomerang.
I know like a friend or two have had some interesting experiences with a possible Bigfoot sighting. I know there have been Bigfoot sightings around that area in northern Utah. I think it could be Bigfoot's boomerang. We just don't know. It's completely unexplained though.
I've never seen anything like that before. I mean, this is a UFO, but not in the typical sense of like an alien spacecraft. I mean, if he wants to call it Bigfoot's boomerang, then yeah. Bigfoot is apparently this big, strong cryptid, and maybe it's got the strength enough to throw a boomerang at 150 miles per hour at maybe 2,000 feet. I don't know. This one, I'll leave to you guys.
In my opinion, that's a craft. That is an actual craft. It's an alien craft. This isn't Kate's kind of thing, so I'm not sure what she's going to think about it.
As much as I'd love to say that I think it's some alien being coming to visit a forest, I think it might be more likely a bird that's travelling at quite a high speed.
Actually, what we're dealing with is simply an object in the air that's unidentified. With this particular footage, I think I pushed into a corner to try and give a skeptical explanation for what's going on. The skeptical explanations that I could give would be as far-fetched as it being Bigfoot's boomerang.
From unidentified flying objects to unidentified driving obstructions. In Krasnodar, Russia, this UFO may be very well identifiable. But these cosmonauts are embarking on a brand new space race. Idaho, USA. Can chickens fly? This down-to-earth couple got creative when designing a new coop for their expanding flock. Take us to your feeder. Indiana, USA. Another space race now, with returning winners. America. There's been a breakout out of Area 51, and these previously incarcerated aliens just needed some space. Back in New Hampshire, Teresa is trying to get her head around all the mysterious events captured on our home cameras.
I want to try to communicate with them. I want to find out why they're here. I want to find out what their backstory is. And other people think I'm nuts. And maybe I am, I don't know. I did some research into the house, and I found out that this used to be a slaughterhouse. And he said a lot of times they would keep bodies in there. The building is, over 100 years old. One night I captured what seemed like a screaming woman, but the odd thing is you'd hear a doorbell before it. I don't even have a doorbell.
started screaming.
This is insane.
That was just really another mind-blowing thing to hear. I said, well, I'm going to get a hold of a paranormal team because this needs to be investigated because I don't know what's going on.
My name is Betty Miller, and I am the director of Paranormal Investigators of New England.
When I sent the paranormal team the picture of the apparition, they were very interested, and they wanted to come and meet with me and do an investigation in the home.
And when we first saw it, we saw that apparition of a guy standing there, and our first thoughts was, she has an intruder in her home. Teresa's apparition is definitely the best apparition I have ever seen or the team has seen. You can see it in full length. It's not a half body. It has that solidness to it, but it goes from solid to semi-transparent. It's paranormal. Her house is haunted, no question.
When the paranormal team came, they actually found activity. They talked to a woman who asked for some wine.
Whoa! Oh my God! Bottle of wine! Jesus!
We had been asking her all night, what can we do? What can we be? She wanted help. What could we do? She wanted a bottle of wine. So we reinvestigated. We brought her a bottle of wine, and we poured her a glass, and we all drank to her.
So, yeah, she definitely wanted a drink. I believe that this house is possibly a portal for activity. I've tried to, see if there's something I could do to help them, but I haven't gotten really any responses. There's never been anything here that seems like it wants to harm me. It's just like they live here, I live here, we coexist.
Still to this day, Teresa is unaware who or what was in her home.
Everything all fits together perfectly for this to be true, proper paranormal activity.
Potentially, this home is some kind of supernatural honeypot, a portal. There are spirits coming in and out of the property, and she doesn't even know it.
I think if Teresa's happy living there with her merry gang of spirits, then more power to her. But if that was my house, I'd be getting every priest, everyone in the community in to try and bless it.
There's activity here, and you can either believe it or not, but I've gone over time and time again, had the cameras checked, I've had the house checked, I've had the doors checked, the locks checked. It is here, and I have evidence of it.